Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner at Classic Last Known Classic. This is episode number 2525, Doubleshot number 2419. Here we're discussing Punisher and Generation X. First, we're discussing Punisher Epic Collection Volume 4, Return to Big Nothing. This collects Punisher Volume 2, issues 26-34, the third annual, Punisher Classic number 1, Epic Graphic Novel, Return to Big Nothing, Marvel Graphic Novel 51-64, 51 being Punisher the Intruder, and 64 being Kingdom Gone. Yeah, basically it's like 9 issues, an annual, a one-shot, and 3 standalone graphic novels. First, let's discuss the Punisher issues. Yes. Now, basically, all the issues in here, pretty much everything except for Return to Big Nothing is done by Mike Barron. Return to Big Nothing is done by Chuck Dixon. Mostly put in the case 26-27. Takes on a guy named Robert Morse. It's basically just, well, the whole thing is deal with a whistleblower. That's most what the first 2 issues are. 28 and 29, I'm not going to discuss these because these are the X-Ventures tie-in, so I'm going to skip right over them. Going straight to issue number 30, where basically Punisher deals with a serial killer in issue 30. In 31, he takes on Satan's Lords, basically a biker gang, who appears in issue number 30, and 31, 32, and that's it. It's like, okay, let's find some bikers for a couple issues. Yep. And then 33, we have Punisher take on the Ravers in the pages of X-Men. Okay, interesting. And they take him on 33, 34, and that's it. Yep, that's it. That's it for the main book anyways. But what about the annual? You might be asking. Well, and number 3. And number 3 is part of the Lifeform storyline. Well, it's Punisher. This is where Lifeform made his debut in this very book. We'll also do with AIM. That's in the opening story. That's the Mike Barron. They have basically a story, and we have also Punisher's Fine Techniques, which is written by Roger Selleck and art by Mark Textra, who also is the inking. Punisher's Arsenal, written, drawn, and inked by Elliot R. Brown. Basically talking about Punisher's his artillery, his armory, Forewarned and Foretold, written by Gregory Wright and Lee Sullivan, and Philanthropy, Mike Barron and Mike Textra. Yep. For Foretold, basically is just deal with Nightmare. Philanthropy is a story about Microchip, and that's it for the main Punisher book. You're thinking, okay, interesting stuff here. Nothing bad about the main Punisher issues per se. It just seems like bikers, really? Yeah, really. If you're curious about the Punisher Classic Punisher, well, this book in particular is mostly put a reprint book. Yes, the first 2 stories in here are essentially put reprints. Death Sentence, and that's reprint from our period number 2. Accounts Settled, Accounts Due is from Marvel Super Action number 1. But Kites is simply Punisher doing a kite battle. That's it. But you think, okay, so what about these Punisher graphic novels per se? Well, the first one, of course, is Epic Nothing. Return to Big Nothing. It's the only thing in this whole book not done by, this is done by Stephen Grant. Big Nothing is just basically just a code name. It's mostly Punisher taking on this crooked sergeant, who appears in this one-shot book, released in January 1989. Yep. It's a military book, and of course dealing with the ghost of the Hitman. Yeah, Hitman. who this actually was technically the first people to see this guy since his death in Amazing 175, and he came back fairly recently. Mm-hmm. Thanks to Clone Conspiracy. It's a very interesting graphic novel. Is this the only epic graphic novel ever released, per se? This actually is one of two. Mm-hmm. The other, of course, is Hearts and Minds. It is mostly put basically an army book. Yeah, there's surprisingly been only two ever released. Yeah, I don't know why, but that's basically where it is. Mm-hmm. But you're all thinking, okay, so what about the other one shots, The Intruder and Kingdom Big Nun? The Intruder, this is basically a Mike Baron book. It is mostly put basically just Punisher taking on a crooked colonel, and plus I love the cover by Bill Reinhold. It's a gorgeous cover. Mm-hmm. Which it's a different cover than I have here, but this is the cover I have here for this one. Yep. Really cool looking cover. I love it. Mm-hmm. Bill Reinhold is also the... it's mostly put just punching on a crooked colonel, like I mentioned. And that's it for that one. It's a very interesting graphic novel, but what about Kingdom Gone? I believe this is the one done by Chuck Dixon. Yep, this is the one done by Chuck Dixon. It's mostly put basically a war book. Plus, I love the classic art stuff from the 80s, which is so cool. Mm-hmm. It's mostly punched with some drug cartel. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just some drug cartels, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I really enjoyed this Punisher book. These Punisher books are really good. Nothing bad here per se, but it is interesting the fact they included them. Now, if you're curious though, does the very next Epic collection for Punisher, did that collect one of these graphic novels? Yes, they collect two one-shots, No Escape and The Prize. And still got a while to go before we cover all the, well, one-shots related to Punisher. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my guess is the reason why they included these one-shots because they published at the time, so why not include them? Yep, so I'm going to give the Punisher Epic Collection a 9 out of 10. By the way, it's better than what that Punisher run came out with. Alright, next up we have is Generation X. Now for Generation X, mostly put this is from the very fourth Um, the fourth Epic Collection and the last one to be released. Here we go. Okay, it's called Pride and Penance. It collected 33 to 47 of this very book, along with the 1/2 issue, the 98 annual, Excellent number 20, and the holiday special. Oh, and also the writer has changed from Scott Lobdell, who been the writer for since the book started. Yes. Yeah, basically, what the new writer of this book is, of all people, Larry Hama. Yeah, that's a. You're thinking, really? Larry Hama wrote Generation X? Yes, he did. Pretty much, he wrote all the issues collecting this one book, except for issue 45. So it was a very, very brief run for the book. Oh yeah. Yep. So now 33 is mostly put them taking on a character named Weasel, just a punk kid who appears for a handful of these issues. Yeah, basically doing it with punks. And I believe also in these issues were Penance, where Monette basically gets out the Penance's body, but her siblings are basically still trapped in the body. Yes. Yeah, so basically they created this called M-Play. He's only here for these issues here. That's most what happens here. They get unfused, and that kind of wraps that particular story on there. And of course, basically, Hollow, that's what the thing is called, becomes a separate being. An M-Plate, basically, the storyline is finished by 30, 38. 39, mostly, we have Death of a character named Dirtnap, which is a rat. Yeah. Who was a character Hammer created and, well, got killed off here, and then it came back in Marauders, and they got killed once again. Yeah, and we're still dealing with M-Plate here as pretty much the main villain of the series. Yeah, I'm glad Larry Hama kept them around because, well, what else is there to do with the guy? And if you're curious, up until issue 40, 40 is technically in a way, after issue 40, he pops up a few more times after, he'd pretty much been like the main villain of this book, for, ever since after the first couple issues, he was brought back in issue 10, and he's been on and off since then. After 40, he appears 2 more times in an annual, and that's it for him for over a decade. 40, you could say, is, well, kind of in a way, the end of like a storyline-ish for this book. And then like we have a dream featuring M-Play in 41. They call it Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, all dealing with a dream of various characters. 42 is basically dealing with Bianca. Yeah, she actually was made a first appearance in issue 4. And she's not here very long. No, she's only here through issue 44, and that's pretty much it for her. Yeah. And by 44, Gaia, who actually had just shown up in issue 37, she joins in issue number 44. And there's a potential romance between Chamber and Husk, which goes nowhere because later on, Husk shows a relationship with Archangel years later. Yeah. And then pretty much basically like Emma Frost gets her powers back. Issue 45. 46 is basically, well, 45, I just mentioned, is not written by Larry Hama. That's done by Jay Ferber. Larry Hama's back for a couple more issues, and that's it for him. The one half issue is simply a flashback issue. I'm just kind of go through this quickly. It's just a flashback issue of Banshee and Emma Frost. That's most what it is. And you think, okay, what about the annuals? Well, in '98 they had a team up annual with Dracula. Yep. And this is written by Joseph Harks. Except it's not really Dracula. It's some guy related to be Dracula. It's not, well, it's not exactly like fully Dracula per se. But there is one more special to talk about here, and that's the holiday special. Yep, it's just a Christmas story. Released this number of 1998. There was Santa Claus, and that's pretty much it to discuss here. Also by Joe Harris as well. The Generation X book is really good. I'm going to give this book roughly a 9 out of 10. Okay, so that's the book review. Had to end it here because the X Unlimited, it just basically a story for featured Banshee. That's all it is. Okay? See you in the next video. Bye.